Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA. I am Ifoma Ojinta. Thanks for joining us. Vice President Kashim Shettima has assured that the Tinubu administration remains committed to deepening democracy in the country. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports that the Vice President said this when he received the leadership of the Inter-Party Advisory Council at the Presidential Villa, Abuja.
The beauty of democracy is about inclusivity, and Vice President Kashim Shettima said the Tinubu administration is strongly committed to deepening democratic values. He commended the role played by the Inter-Party Advisory Council towards ensuring that there is stability in the polity. The Vice President told the delegation that the President has a lot of regards and empathy for Nigerians, as the government has a robust plan towards addressing economic challenges facing the country. National Chairman Inter-Party Advisory Council Yaba Gisani congratulated the Tinubu administration on its inauguration and expressed the readiness of the council to support the new administration. Inter-Party Advisory Council is for national unity, inclusivity and dialogue. Yaba Gisani said opposition parties need to contribute to the progress of the country.
As political parties, we want to be on the same page with them. Indeed, we are on the same page with them, because they are from us. There's no actor in the field, the political actor in the field that is not from one political party or the other. And we want democracy to survive. We want democracy to progress. We want Nigerians to begin to feel that dividend democracy that we normally say. That is why we're here. And Mr. Vice President promised us that we are going to have regular meetings with him so that we can further deepen democracy and Nigerians to have more confidence in the growth of democracy.
He affirmed his trust in the ability of President Tinubu to transform the country. From the State House, Abdurrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
Former First Lady Dame Patience Jonathan has visited Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu at the State House, Abuja. The visit, which is her first to the villa since the coming of this administration, is to show solidarity with the current First Lady and to applaud her for carrying Nigerian women along in her plans and programs.
I've come here to encourage you, to support you, because we are one country and our country must move forward. And I use this opportunity also to plead to the women of this country, because I know that my sister can carry the women along. She carried the women along when she was a governor's wife. So when she's a first lady, the sky will be her limits. She will carry us along and she will move us forward. We Nigerian women, we should come out in mass and support this government.
For the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, the visit by Dame Patience Jonathan was a welcomed encouragement.
I want to also thank her for all the support and the tips she's always given over time. So thank you so much, Your Excellency.
The visit coincides with a courtesy call by executives of the National Council for Women's Societies in Nigeria on the First Lady. The federal government has given assurance that the student loan scheme will take off this year at the commencement of the 2023-2024 academic session. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, David Adejo Andrew, said this before the House Committee on Students' Loan and Higher Education. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikpen reports.
The Students' Loan Act, signed into law by President Tinubu, is one of several policies to ameliorate harsh economic realities by supporting families to sponsor tertiary education of their wards. This interface between the House of Representatives and the Presidential Technical Committee on Students' Loan is to iron out gray areas and eliminate hurdles towards the smooth implementation of the scheme.
Are you sure by the next academic session, starting November, this program will commence?
So what we are saying, and that is what gives us comfort, and I want you to have that comfort too, that yes, it might not be 100% catchment, but the loan is going to start in the 2023-2024 academic session.
While the Students' Loan Act proposes 1% of all profits accruing to the federal government from oil and other minerals, as well as internally generated revenue to fund the scheme, the lawmakers propose an increase to 3% to grow funding.
When we are able to have an idea of how much you think the student loan scheme will need to be realistically effective to cover the student population we have in the country, then we can begin to talk about a supplementary budget for this.
This federal government is proposing it, so it may just well be that we will only be targeting the funds of the federal government, so that we do not have issues with local government and states suing and saying that no, it's your business, you should handle it, and that also further reduces the funds that will be available.
I want you to make sure that the access you are talking about, process flow, make it as seamless as possible.
The Presidential Technical Committee assures that the Students' Loan Scheme will be ICT driven from disbursement to refund. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
The All Progressives Congress National Integrity Movement has commenced engagement with stakeholders to promote a reward system that will activate the spirit of teamwork and optimal performances. At a strategic engagement with Senator Abdulaziz Yari in Abuja, the group emphasized the need to carry along those that have impacted the party before, during, and after the general elections.
What also suffers this business is lack of appreciation. If you appreciate human being, you appreciate God. And if you appreciate God, and God appreciates you, you will be continue being greater by the day.
We work in creating more awareness, having good numbers of experienced people within the cycle to make sure that we support the success, which that is what we have been doing. And the most important thing about the movement is not one of those movements that will just come during the political time.
The APC National Integrity Movement is one of the support groups working for the success of the Renewed Hope agenda. We now turn our attentions to security matters. Allegations have emerged surrounding the downing of a Nigerian Air Force NAF helicopter NAF 528 with foot soldiers of a known notorious bandit leader being implicated in the incident. These allegations have raised concerns about the resurgence of terrorist activities and the efficiency of NAF air platforms. Defense correspondent Najatu Tijani reports.
Sources indicate that a notorious bandit leader known for his brazen attacks and involvement in criminal activities may have been responsible for the downing of the crashed Mi-171 helicopter alleged to be NAF 582. While the investigation is ongoing and no official confirmation has been provided, preliminary findings suggest that this incident may mark a disturbing escalation in the capabilities of criminal elements within the country. The allegations are also coming on the heels of the governor of Niger's condolence visit to the Nigerian Air Force, as well as a viral video which online communities have interpreted as confirmation of the incident. In response to these allegations, the Nigerian Air Force has maintained that a thorough and impartial investigation is being conducted to determine the cause of the helicopter's downing.
Despite all our commitment, our dedication, and the efforts that we are putting at eradicating these security challenges, we have a couple of issues that bother us. Not least of is one of the is the crash of our airplane yesterday. The fact is that as long as we operate, as long as we fly airplanes, there will be incidents and accidents. So as long as we fly, we'll see some of these challenges. We hope they don't happen, but when they happen, we take it and then we live with it. But on our own part, we are not folding our arms and just living with the challenges. The ideal is to strive for zero incidents and zero accidents in any operational environment.
The outcome of this investigation and the subsequent actions taken will shape Nigeria's trajectory in the ongoing battle against non-state actors. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
And now joining me in the studio to shed more light on this worrisome issue is the NAV Director Public Relations, Air Commodore Edward Gapquet. It's good to have you join us on Nationwide.
Thank you.
Now, during Governor Bago's visit, in a condolence visit, he mentioned the NAV helicopter crash, but no mention of an attack on the aircraft. Now, what evidence supports the allegations of terrorist involvement in the downing of the aircraft?
Okay, let me first of all thank you for having me on your program. I want to start by saying that any military organization or any country that finds itself fighting insurgency or terrorism have a lot of issues to contend with. And as we strike terrorists and their activities, and as we continue to fly day in, day out, of course, bearing in mind that the federal government has done a lot in terms of providing the needed platform for operations, the likelihood of accidents are going to be there. Now, we are not saying that the Air Force will continue to fly without having mishaps and accidents. Of course, these things are going to continue. And like the Chief of Air Staff said, while we strive for zero accidents and incidents, these things are going to happen. And there could be majorly so many reasons why these things can happen. But for anybody to come up and claim responsibility, first of all, it's not for us to even dignify that person with any response, but to wait for the outcome of the investigation that is currently ongoing to unravel the reasons why these things happen.
Okay, now talking about the investigation, how has the Nigerian Air Force, coordinated its investigation into the incident involving the helicopter?
Okay, as I speak to you, search and rescue team are almost at the site. I think it's only proper that we wait for them to give us the feedback of what they'll be able to find out, because in trying to rush into feeding into the gullibility of some of our people, the tendencies for us to make mistakes are also going to be there. And in making mistakes, you are now feeding into the antics of these criminal elements and terrorists. So I would strongly advise that we wait for the outcome of that investigation, and then the team that are on ground at the crash site to get back to us. And of course, when we get those informations, we're going to make sure that we let Nigerians know what is going on. And let me stress this. Accidents, air crashes of any military organization is not immune to Nigeria alone. It's a worldwide phenomenon of every armed forces. Even the most developed armed forces from time to time have this kind of mishaps. And it's very, very important that we begin to prepare the minds of Nigerians that as we continue to contend with these security issues that we have, these things are going to continue to happen. And when they happen, what we expect from Nigerians is the empathy, the support, like we saw the president did yesterday, to boost the morale of these troops and to encourage members of the armed forces to make sure that they continue to give in their best. And as we continue to confront these criminals that are hell-bent of making life unbearable for our people.
Okay, talking about the activities of these criminals, could this also indicate a shift in tactics by bandit groups towards targeting military platforms?
Let me say this again. The propaganda that these criminals continue to churn out there are not issues that we want to even dignify with a response. As far as we're concerned, a criminal is a criminal. Whether they change their tactics to whatever form they want, it doesn't stop us from going after them. And I can assure Nigerians that this setback is not going to deter us. Rather, it's going to make us stronger and determined to ensure that we bring these criminals to their knees. And all of these things we're passing through is just going to be a matter of time before we begin to smile and ensure that our people go back to their normal ways of life.
Thank you very much indeed, the NAV Director Public Relations, Commodore Edward Gapquet, for sharing your insight into this incident with us. Thank you so very much, sir.
Thank you.
Moving on, National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress has played host to the forum of former directors and secretaries of the 2023 Tinubu-Shettima Presidential Campaign Council. Salihu Gwanara reports that members of the forum have pledged to carry on with the task of propagating the renewed hope agenda.
It has been a busy moment for the All Progressives Congress National Working Committee under the new leadership of Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. The latest visitors, having been members of the think tank of the Tinubu-Shettima Presidential Campaign Council, are here to renewed commitment as ambassadors of the renewed hope agenda.
The salaries of
familiarity with the Renewed Hope document is an advantage for members and supporters to positively engage the
They are not resting on their oars to see that everything goes on well.
I use this opportunity to crave the patience and understanding of youth nationwide on the current economic.
Acknowledged critical partners towards the civilization. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress APC Elders Forum, Anambra State Chapter, has commended President Bola Tinubu for his effort towards making the nation better and greater with quality decision, key appointments and nominations. Chinyere Fesio-Koye reports.
Rising from a meeting held in Awka, the Anambra State capital, leaders of the group and selected members of the APC Elders Forum also speak on the recent ministerial appointment by the president.
We know our president to be a man of justice, a man of equity. So on that, we are hinging our plea for him to reconsider us in the southeast to have more ministerial appointments.
I speak especially with regards to the women. He has given us a comfortable position by selecting and appointing 7 women. We know that he's a detribalized Nigerian. We're just appealing to him to look into Southeast.
The APC faithful reiterates the commitment and contributions of some notable politicians from the Southeast towards consolidating the party.
Fortunately, some of them are no longer living. The likes of Chief Alex Anielo, close ally like Dr. Shildon Wike, those are the people who started this long walk to victory with him.
Expectations are that those already appointed as ministers would discharge their constitutional duties diligently. In Awka, Chinyere Fesio-Koye, NTA News.
Unemployment, bad governance and drug addiction partly account for the increasing number of youths' involvement in crime. These were highlighted by security experts and educationists at a sensitization workshop organized by the Nigerian Army Resource Center in collaboration with the Center for Gender Security Studies and Youth Advancement of the University of Abuja.
Youths are getting increasingly exposed to drugs,
to Yahoo business, and they are listening to the wrong message. So the Center for Gender considered that it was fit for us to push out the right message.
And that's the reason why we brought them here, to be able to rub minds with them, let them know what is expected of them, because development cannot be achieved without security.
From the sensitization that we had already, it has helped to like groom the way you think about things, like the way you see things.
The event that focused on the 2023 World Youth Day Conference is to, among other things, encourage collective participation in the ongoing drive to further secure the nation. Human trafficking and irregular migration are increasingly becoming major concerns for government and various agencies and organizations. Edo State in the past witnessed a substantial increase in trafficking in persons, as the trend was becoming the fastest growing and most lucrative form of international criminal activity. Meanwhile, the state's government, in its continuous fight against this scourge, has set up measures which seem to be yielding positive results. Ifeoma Okafor is standing by with highlights of the efforts by the government to tackle it and a first-hand experience by a returnee. But before we link up with Ifeoma live at the NAPTIP office in Benin, here is a background report she packaged on the trend over the years.
The intensity of the belief that abroad is better, poverty, unemployment are found to easily facilitate the crime, where the victims are usually lured and the sponsors are in reality traffickers who do little or no work to recruit victims.
Before the coming of the Governor Obaseki, His Excellency administration, yes, so there was this negative narrative when it comes to human trafficking and Edo State. So that's true. What he did differently from what his predecessor did was establishing the Edo State Task Force office, Edo State Task Force Against Human Trafficking, to curb that menace. And that law enabled the office to be able to create a lot of awareness, sensitize the public.
It is believed that these measures will help to bring down the statistics of trafficking in persons.
Thank you very much, Ifeoma. So now, can you give an update on the issue of human trafficking and irregular migration in Edo State?
Thank you very much, Ifeoma. Before now, Edo State was on the spotlight for human trafficking and irregular migration, and before intervention, different interventions came up, and yes, there might be some pockets of this crime now, but the government has been working assiduously, making sure that this crime is brought down to minimal, and the government also is introducing many reforms, programs, creation of employment, and different means and measures that the government is putting in place, especially to empower all these vulnerable persons that are being trafficked outside Nigeria. And government is also bringing them back to Nigeria to create employment for them and make sure that they are employed, so that at the end of the day they will not be lured outside Nigeria because of unemployment or because of to give them a better life. Here I am with one of the returnee that came back from Libya. His name is Nosa. So, Nosa, can you tell us how far is life going with you since you came back?
Ever since I returned back from Libya, life has been going well for me, because since I have become an advocate for safe migration, God have also used me to touch various lives. I have used my story to change various persons' lives, to change the narrative, to be precise. So I've gone to schools, I I did a lot of programs. I did a program called Disadvantage of a Girl's Child Being Trafficked. I've also done Return Migrant God's Talent, because so many people say return migrants, maybe they are not important to the society. Some of them are well educated, even better than some of those persons taking them on classes, on training. But ever since we've come back, we've really done well with our lives, and because we have said it that it's your right to migrate, but you can do it the right way by having the right document that authorizes you to do so.
Okay, so do you have any advice for any youth that still intend to travel in an illegal way?
Yeah, I'll use myself as a case study. At first, I was thinking maybe because of the background I came out from, that I really want to strive. I want to see myself traveling out of this country. But when I got there, reverse was the case. There's no place like home. Nigeria is blessed. If only we can be able to help ourselves in various ways. I see Nigeria moving forward, because going through irregular means of traveling, you're just endangering your life. Like we said, human trafficking is evil. Irregular migration, it's suicidal. Do not even try that at all. If you want to travel, have the right document that authorizes you.
Okay, I know that the government has been integrating these returnees. So, which one are you into now?
I think government have also done their part. I think a lot of foreign agencies have come in. I know it's through the help of the government. We have IOM, Salvation Army, Caritas Nigeria, and others organizations coming in to also see how they can contribute to their own quota. The aspect of NAPTIP, I say NAPTIP have done very well in terms of reintegration, having a shelter for those persons that is homeless, and or I think those state government also do same, have shelter. But still, NAPTIP have done so many where they have sent so many traffickers to prisons. So I think I visited the correctional center the other day. I saw some persons that I know that they call this a burger that have been trafficking persons. So many of them, they are in the correctional center. Kudos to NAPTIP.
Thank you very much, Nosa. Thank you for speaking with us. And we also have we here with us the head of a legal team in NAPTIP to tell us the place of law in all this. Just 1 minute or less than that.
Yes, the Director General NAPTIP, Professor Fatima Waziri-Yazi, is very determined in fighting this scourge of human trafficking, and this has reflected in the number of convictions we've recorded so far. We have about 624 convictions, and aside that, we have cases ongoing in court. And there was one of the cases that an Benjamin officer had to come down to Nigeria to testify, and then we have rescued a quite number of victims, close to 20,000, and that's the effort of the DG and the team.
Very much.
Thank you.
We've been speaking with stakeholders in this fight against human trafficking and irregular migration, and we look forward that at the end of the day that measures will continue to be put in place to tackle this menace.
Thank you very much, Ifoma, for that update, and it's good to know that the returnees are doing well and are becoming agents of positive change. Thank you very much, Ifoma. Now, Qatar Charity Organization says it will continue to provide solutions for the upliftment of less privileged Nigerians as part of its global mandate to alleviate poverty through sustainable development programs. Qatar Ambassador to Nigeria, Ali bin Ghanam Al-Hajri, said this at the groundbreaking ceremony of Qatar Sanabil project in Kaduna State. Ilyasu Yakubu reports.
Qatar Charity Organization has been operating for over 4 decades across the globe with the provision of life-saving assistance to those affected by conflict, persecution and natural disasters, as well as creating durable solutions for poverty using sustainable development programs. Qatar Ambassador to Nigeria said these projects, when completed, will provide the community with education, health, water and sanitation, housing, economic empowerment, as well as food security.
And we are in Qatar development role to promote our human development by supporting economy and development of humanitarian aid.
The Kaduna government will give Qatar Charity all the support it needs to accomplish these important projects.
The project is built to benefit more than 500,000 Kaduna citizens with houses, school, clinic, borehole, maps and skills acquisition center for the people of the community. From Kaduna, Ilyasu Yakubu, NTA News.
Our first stop on Nationwide is our Lagos Network Center and Hingino John Adams. We're giving us trending stories from that zone. Hello, Hingino.
The Lagos-Ibadan Expressway has been a thorn in the flesh for motorists plying the route due to the incessant gridlock caused by the ongoing road construction. This narrative is however changing, with hitch-free vehicular movement on major parts of the road as more lanes have now been opened, with some sections of the project nearing completion. Joel Pupola reports that the pace of work is being intensified to ease the pain of road users.
Like the light at the end of the tunnel, hope of each free vehicular movement along the Lagos-Ibadan corridor is gradually becoming a reality. The road, which had become a nightmare for motorists due to constant gridlock, is gradually becoming a jolly good ride, thus reducing travel time.
It not be like before. Actually, from toll gate here, it's still okay small. We want the people to even help us.
Alausa Secretariat Junction, an area prone to traffic congestion, is witnessing a relatively ease-free vehicular movement with the completion of repairs on most parts of the corridor. With only a few kilometers left to complete the Alausa-Otedola corridor, effort is being intensified to ensure speedy completion. Meanwhile, at Otedola Bridge and surrounding areas, it is a jolly good ride. The situation at Berger Axis is however different, with only a few lanes open to traffic in view of the ongoing construction.
I don't know why they're working on the road partially. Why can't they just work on it over the night, like do a large part of it over the night, instead of having to split it into two halves, because it's causing traffic.
Of course, government is working. The roads are being improved, but the traffic is still very tight, especially morning flow into Ireland and then coming back in the evening. But there's a lot of improvement. I'm sure by the time they are done with the project, then the access to Mowe and out will become freer.
More workers have been deployed to Berger Axis to hasten the rehabilitation for more lanes to be open to road users. And the expectation is that with huge construction moving out of the Lagos corridor, the distance between Lagos and Ibadan will be drastically reduced. In Lagos, Joel Pupola, NTA News.
Talking education now, the Student Loan Act of the federal government will commence next academic season. While will-be beneficiaries are excited about the loan, there are misgivings about its implementation. Stakeholders are of the opinion that if it stands on a tripod principle of best standard practices devoid of subtle political insinuations, it will enable government measure its effectiveness and identify areas of improvement. Lanre Gbile has details.
Signed into law on June 12, 2023 by President Bola Tinubu, the Student Loan Act will provide easy access to higher education for Nigerians. Funds for the loan will be drawn from education bonds, endowment funds, 1% of all federal inland revenue taxes, levies, and duties, among others. What is of concern to Nigerians is its implementation.
We must approach an institutional-based strategy, not a government-based strategy. If the laws are coming down from the government must look for the right institutions already on ground that will help with identification and implementation of the student loan strategy and student loan disbursement.
Some criteria for assessing the loan indicate that a student must first secure admission into Nigerian government institution of higher learning, have a family income of 500,000 naira per annum, and provide 2 guarantors.
And make the rules less stringent, be very, very encompassing, accommodating, and encouraging of the lower masses, of the lower cadre of the Nigerian populace.
The repayment is structured as 10% salary deduction from source made available by loan beneficiary's employer and directly paid into the fund. If the loan recipient changes job, he or she is liable to inform the loan committee within 30 days. If the beneficiary is self-employed, he or she must submit comprehensive business information to the loan committee within 60 days. In Lagos, Larry Bilayi, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. You are still watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Let's take some messages. The news will be back with Ifoma in Abuja.
And now to health matters. Kano State government will ensure the provision of effective and accessible healthcare services across its 44 local government areas. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf said this during the re-inauguration of the Hasia Bayero Pediatric Hospital in Kano City. Abdullahi Mustafa has the details.
The 86-bed hospital was established in 1990 to provide pediatric emergency, medical, surgical and laboratory services. It within the last 3 decades the major facility for treatment and research in Kano State. Following Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf's assessment visit in the first week of his assumption of office, the hospital is not only reopened but rehabilitated and upgraded.
This is with a view to stem the tide of the abysmally high neonatal and infant morbidity and mortality in the state.
Emir of Kano Aminu Ado Bayero thanked the governor for responding to the yearnings of the people, urging the host community and clients to take ownership of the facility by contributing to its management. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
And Abdullahi Mustafa is on standby at the hospital for more updates on these developments and other measures being taken by Kano State government to reduce maternal and newborn deaths, which are on the high side in the states. Over to you, Abdullahi.
Very much. As you have seen in the report, the hospital has been reactivated, and presently clients have already started bringing their wards for medical and surgical. Far away from this place in the heart of Kano City, but they've been so much complaints and appeals for the reopening of the facility, because going to that new facility, they find it arduous and costlier economically. With me now is someone who will do justice to this issue, and the person who superintended the total rehabilitation and reactivation of the facility. This is the Commissioner of Health, Kano State, Dr. Abubakar Labaran Yusuf. Honorable Commissioner, tell us the additional reasons for reactivating this all-important facility.
Well, this facility, as you are seeing, it is the only pediatric hospital we have in the state. It is a free service. We're not charging anything from anybody. It has a capacity of 86 beds, and it sees outpatients about 300,000 to 500,000 every day. And as you have rightly said, is located within the heart of the city, very close to the people of the city of Kano, and readily accessible. So these are the main reasons why we decided to recover this hospital, renovate it, and we'll just commission it 3 days ago here in Kano State.
Okay, I learned that there are additional services or facilities for improved pediatric and laboratory services. What are such additional things brought to this hospital?
Well, generally we offer outpatient pediatric services, inpatient admissions. We offer immunization services. We also offer nutrition services in the hospital, as well as surgeries. Even though our surgery is yet to come on board now, but we have secured the equipment for the surgical unit to start also practicing.
Okay, Honorable Commissioner, you've also talked during the inauguration ceremony of additional power issue, which is a serious problem in hospitals. So are there also arrangements you've made so that there will be uninterrupted supply here?
Well, we have 3 sources of light in this hospital. We have the national grid, we have a standby generator, as well as solar. The hospital has been solarized also. So these are the 3 sources we have to power the hospital.
The main reason given is improving maternal and child health, and there are many areas, remote areas, which don't have. This is the only, apart from the one where this hospital was initially moved. There are local government areas that are almost 200 kilometers away from this, and these are areas where the problem is more serious, and the more death been recorded in such places. What arrangement do you have? What is in the pipeline?
Well, thank you very much for this very question. I can tell you we have 2 or 3 things. One, we are going to make all our primary health care centers functional. We are going to provide basic minimum services in all our primary health centers. We have a special program that we call medical outreach, which we introduced in the year 2012-2013 during our first tenure of Engineer Rabi Musa Kongoso. This program of medical outreach is aimed at reaching the far places that are deprived of medical services. We reach individuals there, screen them, consult the medical personnel that will go there, and we will go with free drugs. We check for other diseases, the non-communicable diseases, under referral, of course, referral services, apart from treating the common ailment that we find there. Thirdly, our secondary health facilities, our governor also promised that he is going to establish a secondary health services in each and every local government of the state. So, by the grace of God, we are going to cut down the number of death, maternal mortality, as well as infant as well as child mortality in Kano State.
Okay, thank you very much. Time is not on our side, Honorable Commissioner.
Thank you very much.
So we've been talking to the Honorable Commissioner of Health, Kano State, Dr. Abubakar Labaran Yusuf, who has been shedding light on the reactivation of Hasia Bayero Pediatric Hospital here in Kano. Thank you very much, and back to you in the studio.
Very much, Abdullahi. It's now time to join Ladidi in our Maiduguri Network Center for more reports on Nationwide.
Welcome to Maiduguri. Good to have you join us. The need to strengthen strategic partnership with multi-stakeholders and existing partnerships with opportunities to forge new alliances and collaborative engagement was the focus for the unveiling of Zonal Gender Count Coordination Platform for the Northeast. Organized by UN Women, the event drew participants from state and non-state agencies in the Northeast Zone for the flag off in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Pauline Kujavana has details.
UN Women serves as a convener and secretariat for the Development Partners Group on Gender, DPGG, which is a group consisted of various development agencies, including donors in Nigeria, to stimulate the collective commitment to effectively harness resources and technical expertise on gender.
Emphasis in this response is the socioeconomic reinsertion of those people who have faced gender-based violence. Another thing we do is coordination, which we have brought here.
The quarterly zonal coordination platform will be multi-layered, as it will facilitate state and local government coordination platform formation and strengthening, as well as support the establishment and strengthening of national platform to ensure better coordination.
When it comes to this issue now of women empowerment and gender equality, we are a bit backwards. We have so many factors like culture mainly and religion. We, the women, we are not advocating for 50-50 chance or 50-50 opportunity.
All we are advocating for is let us be part of the decision making.
Northeast is the first place where the platform is being launched to advocate and campaign for increased international and domestic financing for gender equality and women empowerment, building capacity of relevant stakeholders on global norms, standard and relevant thematic areas to enhance planning and program implementation. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
National Youth Service Corps is to commence orientation exercise in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, with 1,161 Corps members posted to the state 12 years after closure of the camp due to activities of Boko Haram insurgents. 6 states across the Federation had in the past decade hosted NYSC orientation camp for the Corps members posted to Borno. Kaigama Mustafa reports.
These are mason and laborers putting finishing touches on temporary NYSC camp at Mustafa Umar El-Kanemi Arabic Teachers College, Maiduguri, for the orientation exercise in Borno. After closure of NYSC orientation camp for over 12 years, the NYSC Borno State had been conducting camp exercises in about 6 states in the country to include Benue, Nasarawa, Katsina, and Gombe, as well as Jigawa, among others. The temporary site has the capacity to accommodate all the prospective Corps members deployed to the state, as male and female hostels are being renovated with conducive toilet facilities, water supply, and electricity. The NYSC Borno State Director Mohamed Jia Adamu confirmed the use of the temporary site as against the Tashan Kano permanent camp that used to accommodate IDPs for years before its closure.
With the support of the good people of Borno State and the government of Borno State, we do not have any challenges, or we do not even envisage anything to stand in our way in the success of this upcoming orientation course.
Commissioner of Police for North State, Yusuf Mohamed Lawal, while assessing the facility, assured the deployment of more security personnel inside the camp and perimeter fence to ensure protection of lives and property of the prospective Corps members.
This is a hallmark that peace is gradually being restored in Borno State. And we have visited the facility where the orientation course will hold from 18th of August to last for 3 weeks.
Nigerian Army, police, and other sister security organizations have all assured to take necessary action to ensure movement of the prospective Corps members along the highways and in the camp for a successful exercise. In Maiduguri, Kaigama Mustafa, NTA News.
That report concludes our contribution from Maiduguri. Nationwide continues with Ifome in Abuja after this time out. Don't go away.
A joint planning committee for the 2023 service of 9 lessons and carols have been inaugurated. The joint planning committee, comprising NTA, Voice of Nigeria, and FRCN members, is to strategize and plan ahead for a successful hosting of the annual event. Director General, Voice of Nigeria, Osita Okechukwu, who harped on prayers, forgiveness, and love for the nation, urged partners to remain committed to the goal of the event, which is to strengthen the unity of the nation.
I start by thanking the NTA, Radio Nigeria, and Voice of Nigeria for coming together over the years to flag off the Christmas carol. And the Voice of Nigeria will continue to give the support, and I will also be talking to the leadership of both NTA and Radio Nigeria to give up the committee all the necessary support.
Supervising officers of the 3 media organizations agreed to work together for the success of the event to be announced at a later date.
With the teams from NTA and Voice of Nigeria to do our best.
It's true that we do have a big platform, and then we will intend to use that to bring out the information and then attract all the necessary different areas of the society.
The 2023 edition of the Service of 9 Lessons and Carols, the 20th in the series, is to be hosted by the Voice of Nigeria. And that's it on Nationwide for today. We thank you so much for being part of it. Good night. I am Ifoma Ojenta.